Welcome back to Views from the 50, an NFL podcast where we provide coverage on all things NFL. I'm your co-host, El Jefe, and I'm joined here by my fellow members of the SFN crew. How's everybody doing tonight?
Wavy and
Good.
then man.
We here another week.
Another Thursday. Everything is everything.
It's a calm Thursday, gig.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Well, there were people who weren't that calm and looked like they were struggling this past Sunday. Brock Purdy and the 49ers finally got handed their first loss of the season, first loss of Purdy's career by the Deshaun Watson-less Browns and Chubb-less Browns as well. I mean, they didn't need these players to perform, and they somehow found a way to get it done without two of their star players. But I mean, I was very happy to watch that happen. I don't know how y'all felt, but for me, it was like icing on a cake. I mean, it was just beauty. How'd y'all feel about the 49ers getting handed their first loss?
I mean, if it was by more than 3 points, I'd say it was. I'd feel differently, but they lost that if I'm correct because they missed the field goal, right?
Yes.
Pretty
Yep.
much, yeah.
And so, with that being said, like you got to put more. I put more blame on the kicker. You sit and you kick, bro. That's what you get paid to do. So you, in my opinion, like to get down there and get in the field goal range for Brock Purdy to be able to do that, in my opinion, I feel like that was a great drive to get down the field. Granted, you didn't get as close as what you wanted to, but you got in a good enough range for your field goal kicker to be able to make that attempt. So, in my opinion, I was like, I really feel like they should have won that game. Just little mistakes, but once again, the biggest mistake is your kicker missing a kick. I feel like any kicker that misses a kick in a game like that should get fired, personally. But it's just one of those situations where, like, little mistakes, nitpicking. If we're gonna nitpick, just certain routes that Brock Purdy missed, as far as when Ayuk hit that hitch route, and then it was like open there where he still had enough space, but you missed it, and you tried to throw a pass where it was out of the way, but yet you were looking for the field yardage. So understandable situations, and it goes back to one of those things where it's like, did I make the proper play calls? Did I make the proper throw passes? But all in all, it was a good game. I don't feel like that loss once again is on Brock, but a loss is a loss, and they're still a team. So I still feel it was a decent game, all in all.
Uh, I'll just say it's partially on the kicker and then partially on Brock. But then again, they did have some bad injuries on the beginning. When Debo got injured, I think it was like the first or second drive or so of the game. He got injured, and then McCaffrey went down with the oblique, whatever. That kind of messed it up too as well. So it's kind of messed up that both of them went down. It was a rainy day. It was a road game. It just was one of those days overall. So where it seemed like a lot of underdogs were taking over and winning. But at the end of the day, Browns just played a better game, had better scheme all the way together, and it had to happen. Brock was bound to lose one regular season game sooner or later. So um, good game plan by the Browns, but bad miss by the kicker, of course, like Seth was saying. Overall, that's your job. You kick all practice long. You gotta make your kicks at the end of the day. They put you in position, you gotta make your kicks.
I mean, yeah, it's one of the few kicks that Jake Moody has missed in his young career. So, I mean, obviously, everybody wants to put the blame on him, but I think it's more so. I think the Browns deserve more credit being able to hold the 49ers to under 20 points. A, B, they were able to capitalize on the 49ers losing Debo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams at one point or another. So, granted, San Francisco lost obviously three star players, a couple all pro players at that. But when it boils down to it, you still have to go out there and win the game, right? And they're missing Deshaun Watson, as Fa said. They're missing Nick Chubb, who is obviously one of the better running backs, if not one of the best running backs in the NFL. And Deshaun Watson, prior to his allegations and things of that nature, was one of the better quarterbacks, if not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL as well. So they go out there with PJ Walker, XFL star, he's able to do what needs to be done. You know, they brought back Kareem Hunt, but I mean the Cleveland Browns with Jim Schwartz. I mean, I said it earlier this season. That defense is not to be messed around with. Their front seven is really good, especially their defensive line and their secondary. You can't just throw on them. You know what I mean? You got to really strategize and take what they give. And I did find out that Kyle Shanahan, for what it's worth, I think he's like 1-8 against Jim Schwartz when they're going up head to head. Him and Jim Schwartz were under, they were coaching together as a team at one point. So, Jim Schwartz just happens to know what it is that Kyle Shanahan likes to dial up. So the Cleveland Browns, they're a good football team. If they weren't missing Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson, I would pick them easily to be the AFC North champions. But a couple injuries here and there, it doesn't present much for their offense. But defensively, they're an elite team. So yeah, and I mean, again, San Francisco lost 3 of their best players, being Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and Trent Williams. So, I mean, but you still have Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. So, Brock Purdy should have been able to capitalize in some way. But I mean, he did drive the ball down the field, but Jake Moody did miss that kick. So, you got to look at that. You got to look at him in that instance. But I don't know if you cut him. It happens. But
and I mean, at the end of the day, you got to have guys that are willing and ready to step up in people's places when situations like this happen. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. The 49ers, I mean, they get a little while to, recruit from this. They're not on a bye week, but they don't have to play till Monday. So they got a little extra time, a little extra day to try and, get everybody healthy and on the right path. So we'll see if they can rebound off this. I mean, I don't see why not. The Vikings aren't anything serious this season. And I mean, they're still without Justin Jefferson. So I don't see why.
I mean, they're still the best team in football. It's very difficult to find a team that.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that topic a little bit later, for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good teams in football right now, and they're definitely at the top of the pecking order for sure. I do agree with you there. But let's go ahead, and there's another team that's right there with them with the same record, but they were also once undefeated. And they got shot down by some fighter jets. The Jets. Yes, Jets. Yes, sir. They got it done. And it's about time. It's time to put some respect on Wilson. It's time to put some respect on the team. Man, they did this without Sauce Gardner too. This is excellent work, man. I love to see it. I'm happy to see it. And you know what? It's about time somebody shoot those Eagles down because I was tired of hearing about them. How y'all feel about that, though?
Like I said, it was one of those weeks for upsets. A lot of underdogs are winning. I won't put a lot of that on Zach. I'll put a lot of it on defense for sure. They held their own, keeping them under 20 points, I think it was, too, as well.
14.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that was a very dominating, stifling defensive stand that they had all game overall. It's going to be tough because the Eagles have been trending down with their offense for the last, I'll say, 2 or 3 games. Haven't been scoring too much points. Been looking kind of stagnant on offense and kind of confused with their plan. So going into this game against Miami, that'll be kind of interesting, seeing how they switch it up. But good job by the Jets defense, hold it down. Just another one of those weeks. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what the Jets are able to do on defense. They don't really give a lot of points up in the second half. I think there was a report that the Cowboys were the only, not to make this about the Cowboys, but the Cowboys scored the most points against the Jets in the second half, and it's only 12 points. So that says something about, guys like Quinnen Williams, who got an interception, CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams, who recovered a fumble. It's difficult to beat a team when you throw 3 interceptions, you fumble the ball, and the Eagles lost Lane Johnson, which is, arguably the best lineman outside of Jason Kelce, who, for what it's worth, is the core for this Eagles offense. You got guys like Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, who, we the big names, the Devontae Smiths, but they're also missing Quez Watkins, and they alleviated that by signing Julio Jones this week, which is obviously going to make a difference. Whether Julio Jones is old or not, he's still Julio Jones, Hall of Fame receiver. He can take the top off of defenses at any given moment. So that's going to open up a lot for this Eagles offense, and I think that's what the Eagles offense was missing, because the Eagles offense was clicking last year. I'm not going to say they weren't. They don't click when they need to click, but the Eagles offense is obviously missing something, even with DeAndre Swift being one of the top running backs this season right now. It was a defensive matchup, and it just so happened that the Jets were able to force Jalen Hurts into bad situations. Again, turning the ball over 3 times. That's very uncharacteristic for Jalen Hurts. His earlier seasons, he turned the ball over a fair amount of times, whether it's fumbling or not. But he tends to get out of situations with his legs, and he throws the ball away, or he puts the ball where only his receiver can get the ball. The Jets just happen to have his number, and it was bound to happen for Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia does recover. Nick Sirianni and them. As a Cowboys fan, it's difficult to say this is what it is, but being objective, Nick Sirianni and this Philadelphia team, they tend to bounce back from losses like that. They bounced back from the Washington loss last year, ended up going to the Super Bowl. So, I think this is one of those eye openers. It happens that it happened early in the season, and they recognize that the offensive line needs some adjustments. They need Jalen Hurts to get the ball to where it needs to be gotten to. A couple non-pass interference calls or whatever. It is what it is, especially in the last drive. You could argue that Devontae Smith was pass interfered with, but I think it's going to be a humbling situation for Philly, and I think they'll bounce back. But I don't know how they'll deal with Miami. Miami's definitely the fastest offense in the NFL, and Bradbury and what's his name, Darius Slay, going to have their hands full, because the Tyreek Hill and Eric Waddle, they get it done. And as far as Jalen Hurts and them, they're going to have to figure something out, because the Jets were without Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, which is their top safety. So they're going to have to figure something out on offense. But the Miami defense is obviously not as intense as the Jets defense. So shout out to my guy, Quinnen Williams. Bless you. Thank you. He blessed himself on draft day. So that's my guy.
Hey, but shout out to Miami though. Miami's still without Jalen Ramsey on their defensive side. So when he gets back and he's healthy, their defense will, they'll take a boost on that side, most likely. We'll see what happens though. I don't know.
Tell me.
I'm sorry.
So you tell me.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Jalen still got it. But
I'm sure it's a little saucy. It's still a little saucy out there.
Speaking of, but you know what? Let's stay within the team we were just talking about. Speaking of guys getting saucy and all that, man, this guy Aaron Rodgers, we saw him throwing on the field already. What is going on with this guy? I swear he broke his Achilles like what a couple of months ago, and he's already throwing a football on the field. That is, is this man human?
So look, I'll tell you, coming from somebody who actually did tear their Achilles themselves, the fact that he's throwing a football and able to plant on his foot without any issues whatsoever, I wish I had a couple $1 million in the pocket so I could get the same sort of rehab, because I think that the money is the difference here. I'm obviously not that important. I'm just a regular civilian. And Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback, arguably the best quarterback we've ever seen, talent-wise. The wins don't necessarily match up for themselves, because Tom Brady, i.e. Wayne, I don't know, what 6 rings was that in New England? Good for that guy. Good for you. You know what it feels like to see your team win. So congratulations.
Perfect.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm obviously not that important. So seeing a guy who tore his Achilles, ruptured his Achilles, able to throw the ball and walk without a boot, without crutches, things of that nature, it's an amazing sight. So I personally don't think Aaron Rodgers is real, or whatever surgery they did, they need to start making that universal. But obviously going to need a couple $100,000 to get that sort of treatment.
It's the ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, is that what it is? No,
yes,
what are they? No COVID shots, ayahuasca. We don't need doctors. That's Aaron Rodgers' remedy. No
caves.
Doctors necessary.
All season caves.
Oh yeah, when he just sits in the dark and messes with himself.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is. I mean, I haven't torn my Achilles yet. Of course, Tommy, you can attest to
Don't
that.
say yet. I wish that you never do.
I
Wish
do.
that you-
I know. I just yeah. Knock on wood, but
I
I'm
put on
hoping
like
that.
40, 50 pounds
Uh,
after that.
but it's just
Shout out to
honestly,
Wingstop.
I feel I feel like his Achilles and maybe he has some like good shoes on too as well, like some platform shoes that are kind of helping him stand and move, give him some mobility and things like that. But at the end of the day, this is his arm. He's been throwing all his life. He's been a quarterback all his life. So I feel like this is non-issue for me for the most part. But I feel like it is a good sign that he is able to get up and move around without the crutches right now. That's a big sign right now for Jets fans. And if they're able to sneak in that seventh slot, who knows? Who knows if he's able to make it in January,
That's a
mid-January?
good
I would love to
point.
see it, honestly.
Hey, look,
The Grim Reaper back.
I'd love to see it.
If the Jets can stay healthy and they can aside from Aaron Rodgers, obviously, and they can make a run, a quiet run, stay relevant. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, the Jets are going to be a team to watch
Oh my
because
God, yeah.
with that defense, I mean, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, Lazard, hey man, them boys can ball.
They
Boys can
ball,
hoop.
yeah. They don't play around. You right about that. They be balling out there. Sav don't look like he agree with any of us.
Nah, I just heard ball and then hoop, and I was just trying to understand what's going on. But
Yeah, I mean, NFL players be hooping too.
give my man Zach Wilson his credit. No, stop disrespecting.
No,
him.
Zach Wilson, he did what he needed to do against Philadelphia, and he had an excellent game against the Chiefs. I think, so I will say, I think what that was, and I know we're trying not to get into conspiracies here, but I think the NFL owed him one after they screwed him versus the Chiefs and Trailer Kelsey
Yeah.
or Trailer Swift, however you want to name them. But they owed Zach Wilson, and it just happened that it had to be Philadelphia. It had to be the older brother. Jason Kelsey had to eat that. It's like it's like I don't know if you guys have brothers, but it's like when you're the older brother, and sometimes the younger brother whines or cries or something. Sometimes you gotta eat that L. Like I've eaten a couple of L's with my brothers, so just what it is.
Well, I guess it is
Jason
what
had
it
to
is.
eat that. Jason had to eat that L. Sorry, Jason. Travis, younger, more attractive brother, clearly.
He took one for the brothers around the world. Well,
Yeah.
well, craziness. But let's get on to a guy though that's also now injured and out for the season. And they got Minshew Magic stepping in. Anthony Richardson, who I've been trying to tell y'all, man, he's the next Cam Newton. I'm just gonna keep putting that out there in the airwaves until
Yes,
everybody
you gotta
disagrees.
stop doing that to this man. You gotta stop doing that to this man for real. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's not, bro. You act like that's his fault, bro. You got put in the offense where a running back was being salty just to come back and now do the exact same shit that he was doing the year before. Like, I don't understand. Shit's really irking me. It's not just because he's on my fantasy team, but he's really irking the shit out of me because it's like, bro, as the Colts, why would you put this man in the same situation that you've seen other quarterbacks go down from? I just don't understand. You spend all this capital and do all this time and spend all of it on a quarterback that get hurt week 4. Done for the season in the injury. Now what? Now you have to rebuild again in hopes that he comes back the same quarterback you drafted. Respectfully, like it's not fair and like it sucks. So like I 100% agree. Whatever Caleb Williams decides to do, I hope it happens because I wouldn't want. I understand now the risk you take is a top-rated quarterback and go to a system that cares nothing about you but to win, and you still lose. It's crazy to me. It's just crazy to me.
Hey man, we also might have to address that because after what we saw with Caleb Williams outing against Notre Dame, it might be a better quarterback in college football right now. Maybe 2.
Really, we're gonna go off of one game. We're gonna go off.
Hey, I'm just saying, Michael Penix Jr. and Drake May out of North Carolina. Hey man, Them boys
I'm
look
gonna say this:
very good.
Caleb Williams looked like a slump against Arizona, and he should have lost that game.
And Caleb Williams slummed it up in the second half against Colorado.
Fair.
Sure did. Sure did.
He's definitely
And I
not
know
looked. He's definitely not looked his best. That I will say. He has. He
I
has.
don't-
He has dropped the ball a lot this year to an extent where it's like, you talking a lot. You talking a lot of shit for somebody who's like, oh, I'm not gonna go to the NFL. So like, yes, I understand to an extent. Like, but still, the talent is there. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
no, for sure. No, it definitely is. Like
like
some of his throws are immaculate. Only NFL players can make those throws. You're absolutely correct. I agree.
it's just like one of those situations as a quarterback. I feel like they got to take more priority in knowing their worth. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You got to be safer with your body. Like, I mean,
sure.
not saying push back your offensive coordinator and your head coach, but if you feel like you in a dangerous situation, you got to speak, bro. A lot of these cats just go out there and play because if you don't play, somebody else gonna play respectfully.
Yeah. And now you got Gardner Minshew having to step in and finish the season out. And what's that? Where's that going to get the Colts?
They're gonna be in the exact same place that they were. Gardner Minshew is Phillip Rivers.
Top 10 pick for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're looking like. I mean, and it's unfortunate, but you know what?
Like, and if I was Jonathan Taylor at this point, I would want to trade. Now that he's not coming back, I want to leave. I want to leave at this point. But then again, he just got all that money, so he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he just got paid.
Now you stuck.
Stuck.
He's stuck in the mud.
Tragic.
It's unfortunate for that man, but you know what? Let's get right back to college, man. They got these NIL deals coming up, and y'all talking about these quarterbacks staying. And at this point, I don't see why they don't stay. I mean, you got guys getting like $4 million in college, and then you got guys in the NFL like barely making $2 million, barely making $1 million. I mean, why not stay in college? Should take me. I'll go to college right now.
Honestly, at this point, you got to start thinking about staying 2 to 3 years. So one, raise your stock, you know, get that experience in college, and then two, get that money. I mean, why not? It's NIL. It's the best time to do it. They haven't been able to make money all these years, you know, off their likeness and their name and all that. So why not make your money right now? Get 2 to 3 years in and go to the league. Unless you really pop in after the year one and you don't like school, and yeah, you know what I mean. Go ahead, but you're still getting your money regardless with NIL. So
if you looking at a first round pick. And see, it's different. If you're looking at, let's put it, because we're talking football currently. If you're looking at a first second round pick in football, and the class behind you is subpar, and you could still finish out, it just like it depends. Like for example, Caleb's on, and a lot of people, he's actually on the lower end of NIL deals because a new poll just came out with NIL deals. It's Angel Reese is at the top now. Was signed with, huh?
Bronny was at the top.
I'm pretty sure Angel Reese just went to the top in the new calculation because she just signed with Reebok.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure her stock is over Bronny's now. Bronny's last time I checked was 4.5 or something like that.
He got up to 8.9 now.
See, yeah, and once again, but majority, you gotta also understand, majority of that is all LeBron.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
But here's the thing, man. You guys saw a report that Sanders is projected to get 4.8 mil. You got guys that came out first round like Bryce Young, who's not even making $1 million this year.
No,
that's the rookie contract.
In the NFL, yeah, first rounders make good money. They make like a set amount. I think it's especially first overall picks. I think it's like 24 mil, like a minimum. Like they make for that, like their first contract because they're first rounders and first overalls, whatever it may be. You gotta look that up, but I know they make good money for sure. It's just second rounders and third rounders, all that they make little to no money. I hear what you're saying though with NIL, so you're right. Yeah,
but you also, you know, you get the NIL money, whatever, and potentially that runs out, and then you got situations like there was a not necessarily a study, but like information came out, like Brock Purdy, for example, he gets paid like $800,000 for the entire year. And then you
People
got
like that.
guys like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, top tier quarterbacks that make more than him in like half of a game alone. You know what I mean? So you kind of want to you kind of want to get out of that NIL money because, say you have a bad season your junior season or your sophomore, junior, senior year, because obviously you're not coming out your freshman year. You're not coming out your sophomore year. Because there's that other situation, I'm saying? You're a 19-year-old getting cracked by Nick Bosa and CTE sits it immediately. Imagine being fresh out of high school. That was the question. It was like, oh, why don't NFL players come out their first year? Why they don't allow them? Like, why don't they allow college players to come out in football the first year? Imagine getting crushed by Hassan Reddick, you know what I mean? Or getting suplexed by what's his name, Judon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's over for you. Like your career ends right before it starts. So, but then you stay your sophomore, junior year as a quarterback, and then you stink it up, and then nobody drafts you, then you're not gonna make money. So, like, yeah, the money's short lived, but we'd rather have short term money or long term money. That's just what it boils down to. So, I mean, NIL money is good, but NFL money, especially at the quarterback position.
But you got to get there first. So, and then just going over a list, I just found a list from October 13th. So they have Bronny at 5.9 at number 1, Shador at 4.8 at number 2, Lily Dune, any? Who is this?
Dune.
Yeah,
Lily Dune.
the LSU gymnast. 3.2, Arch Manning 2.8, Caleb Williams 2.5. Travis Hunter 2.3, it's number 6, Angel Reese 1.7, 1.7 at number 7, and then Spencer Rattler 1.8. It's a tie for him and Bo Nix at 1.4. JJ McCarthy, Michigan quarterback, 1.3 at number 8. And then I'm sorry, this is number 10 because it's a tie for number 8.
Mhm.
So, and that's without Bronny's new deal. So,
Yeah.
it's just one of them situations where, like, at least with the girls basketball, you got to stay for 2 years. So Angel Reese should be pocketing at least at least $2 million, at least. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your parents a house, get situated, get something set for when you get ready to leave LSU and get drafted, you be good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's crazy you could do that while you're in college these days.
bro, it's insane, bro.
But that's why the college product is good. Like, they have some of the most viewership that they've had in years, but in the same breath, it's like, I don't know, like the game feels like it's kind of watered down because you're getting paid. They're getting paid. You know what I mean? Like the kids before then, they were hungry. They're going to play. Like, you got what? Like 2001 Miami Hurricane. Like, that team was hungry. You got the Florida Gators team that won 2 championships, or at least one. Them boys was hungry. You know what I'm saying? Even that Alabama team with Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and all them, like, them boys was hungry. And, like, obviously they was getting paid under the table, but now it's like, oh yeah, we can just pay you whatever. And the kids know that they're gonna go to the league in some way, shape, or form. So, like, okay, I just got to do what I got to do to get drafted, and then all bets are off. I don't know. Like, college is definitely, this is some of the best college football we've seen in a long time. There's a lot more parity, but I feel like the money also messes it up a little bit. Like, I feel like they just don't care as much as they used to. I feel like there's like a little bit less pride because they know they're going to get paid.
Yeah, no, I feel that. That's exactly how I felt when they announced all this NIL stuff. Anyway, just felt like they were gonna lose their heart and their drive to just be great and to get to that next level. There's gonna be a lot of flash and a lot of flair. So, I mean, some kids are proving that they're still there for the work, but they know the money's coming behind it. It's always gonna be there.
The money is coming. Like, it's already there.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, you 20 years old, getting $2 million, play college football in college.
Crazy.
Come on now, bro. We was acting up with, like, what do you call it? Western Union money from your parents. Like, oh yeah, you send me $200, bet, say less. Oh, $200 for lunch. Okay, I'm headed to the bar. It's up.
Right.
$2 million.
It's crazy.
Ain't no
Yeah.
telling what's going to happen with that. That's $2 million.
It's money. Like I'll just say this. If I could be a teenager if I could be a teenager now, you wouldn't even see me be in the gym nonstop.
Yeah,
I'm getting that NIL money.
You already know I'm in the gym.
Oh yeah.
See ya. They gonna be like, "Where's Hefe? Help? He's not coming outside today. He in the gym.
Bro, there's no reason. Pay
No
me.
reason.
Straight up.
No, yeah, you know that's right. But was that? Well, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Guys that want to be great. You got guys that just want to get
Not
paid.
just across the country, but across the world.
What's up with that?
Fake tough guys, man.
That man, he said, swing his body to the
Don't
side.
play because he's chasing the ghost in Chicago.
Y'all left him wide for the 3 splash. One night, we get one night from him. 1 for 30 tonight in the win.
Oh, he's delivering 30 tonight. He's delivering 30 tonight.
Oh, my bad. Cool. We're all here. All right, everyone.
This your boy El Jefe. This basketball season is going to be another roller coaster ride, and I can't wait. I'm more than excited to be back in the saddle with my guys TP and Trev. But this season, we're doing things bigger and badder than ever. We got 2 new permanent guests where we've invited Sav and Wayne to join the crew this season with us. So make sure to follow us on Spotify and Networthy. I'm sorry, at Networthy. Make sure to follow us on YouTube at Networthy Podcast. And we're also on Instagram at Networthy Podcast. TP, you got anything to add real quick?
Hey, man, we back. You know what time it is. It's Knicks tape all day and night. We're not rocking with the Heat. I don't know what Jimmy Butler was doing, but it's quiet for that. But it's Knicks tape all day.
Oh man.
All right, y'all. Catch us this Tuesday morning as we drop the next episode of Networthy. Hefe is out.